Okay, so my name is Jeremy Varnish, and this is Something. This is a weekly news and update blog. We're here today to discuss the open storage announcement coming up next week for you bloggers out there. And I have with me Paul and Matthew, so why don't you introduce yourself, guys?
Sure, I'm Paul Reed. I'm the Director of Product Line Marketing for the Systems Group.
I'm Matthew Bayer in Solaris Marketing, responsible for open storage over there.
So what are we announcing next week?
So next week on April the 29th is really the 1-year anniversary of the open storage announcement that we made last year. Open storage, for those of you who aren't up on it, is really Sun's strategy of offering open applications that are developed on Open Solaris to allow people to run effectively open source based applications on their choice of industry standard hardware. Right now the industry is very proprietary. The software that's created is typically written by one of the big storage vendors like EMC or NetApp, and then you run on their specific hardware. So this is really a sea change for the industry. And anything to add on that?
Yeah, it's on the one hand it's really new because it's new to storage, but this trend, we've seen that before in the last decade or so. What's happening now to storage happened to service, where you had these closed, proprietary, expensive systems, and in came those industry standard general purpose hardware components with software, making them interesting.
Kind of like what happened with with Linux,
right.
On massively scaled, very inexpensive x86 industry standard hardware back in the 90s, where prior to that, and I'll admit, Sun was one of the major vendors of selling more kind of closed systems. You had an ability to be able to buy very inexpensive, massively scaled hardware. Slap Linux on it very inexpensively. Of course, there are many Linux applications you can run. We're doing the same thing now with open storage.
Just that we're leading the charge this time.
We're leading the charge this time, and it really does offer order of magnitude improvements in cost and efficiency and scale and so on.
So this is a game-changing announcement then, basically, of the magnitude of when we first put out our first line of service. Then we're sort of opening up the storage stack.
It really is. This is game changing, and it's one of those things where it's going to overturn the industry. Sun has done it a few times in its history. We did it with an operating system that's called Solaris. We did it with the Netra product back in the early 90s. We did it with in 1986 with a workstation product called the Pizza Box, and we did it in 1996 with the E10K. We're going to do it again this time in 2008, 2009. With this whole new paradigm, and Sun is really leading the charge on this.
And of course, some of those components will be familiar to people because Solaris is still around and actually a big part of the open storage revolution.
Yeah. So then, all those bloggers out there, what are some of the technologies underneath that are very interesting, that are sort of worth talking about, you think? So imagine you're a blogger out there and you see this announcement, you don't want to repeat the company messages, you want to...
Of course. So there's different things depending on, who's looking at this that might be interesting. If you're a developer, there's lots of technologies that are in Open Solaris right now, out in the open, where you can get your hands on the code and start innovating. One example that's been really popular has been the CIFS implementation in Open Solaris, the Common Internet File System that enables interoperability with Microsoft. And then also
CIFS.
CIFS, exactly. So you'll find that if you search for CIFS on OpenSolaris.org. And likewise the Comstar project, where we've actually seen companies go in, take the code, and build a product of their own out of some of the open source projects out of that. So that's very exciting.
Good momentum. You may want to talk to that as well, Matt.
Absolutely. So in terms of the industry standard hardware and the software that we have, that helps you drive down the cost. But this is part of a larger momentum. There's a whole community behind what's happening. And just to throw some numbers out there, on Open Solaris alone, there's 3,000 people, 3,000 subscribers who are actively involved with just the open storage effort. And if you dive down the mailing list, some of the busiest on that entire project site.
Okay, so just to clarify that a little bit, if you talk to EMC and you want to purchase, one of their more popular replication software packages, it's going to cost you $86,000 to purchase the software alone, and then on top of that you have to buy the hardware. So EMC's model, and it's really the model of the industry, is they make the money, they make the margin, the profits off the software, and they charge very little for the hardware. So we intend to to overturn that. Again, EMC, $86,000 for the software, plus you've got to buy the hardware. I'm not even talking about service costs and anything else. Now, you then talk to Sun. With Sun, you'll buy, for example, the X4500, known as Thumper, You could buy that for, depending on configurations, for $15,000 to $50,000. But then the software component is for free. You are using open source, open Solaris software, and you are downloading open applications that are built on that. So
You get availability for free, you get RAID for free because it's built in with ZFS into the operating system.
And on top of that, it's also built on Solaris. So you're going to get the scalability that is going to be that Solaris is famous for, able to scale horizontally and vertically like no other. So it's not only do you get Solaris, but you also get the incredible enterprise security, scalability, and all the other good stuff that comes with Solaris as well.
So where is this announcement? Is it a virtual announcement? Is it an event? Who's coming to the event, and what time is it on Tuesday?
Yeah, it's going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, April the 29th. But it's really just really a town hall videotape that's going to be on the web. You can find more information about that as time gets closer to the launch. But I think it's really that's only a step in the process of letting the world know about open storage and this open Solaris angle. And we intend to be doing a number of things, both internally and externally, to make sure that the world knows about this.
Just back to you a second. So what is your job? What do you do? I've never asked you that question.
So I'm a group manager in Solaris Marketing, so obviously I care a lot about the operating system, and we've been following over the last year the great success that Solaris has had, both in terms of an enterprise platform, but also out there as an open source operating system through Open Solaris. And we've been keeping a close eye on the storage technologies there. And just today I saw a very interesting quote by one of our customers who's using Open Solaris, and they said, as far as storage goes, you will prize ZFS for my cold dead hands. That's how passionate people get outside of Sun.
And that's not because they're dead, that's because they like it.
Exactly.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. Great. So thanks very much for your time. I am Jeremy Varnish. This is something. I hope this gives you some help. Where do people go on the web, Paul, to find
Good.
information
Cool.
about it?
Yeah, so it's I would go to www.sun.com/open storage.
Okay.
Or you could also go on some of the Solaris properties as well, have some good information. I think it's www.sun.com/communities/open Solaris.
Right, I mean, basically, you hit the first website and it will direct you to all the development materials. We've got tons of tons of developer recipes for developer audience and technical papers coming out for storage architects and administrators. Basically, just take that as your front hub. If you want to join the community on Open Solaris and start coding right away, you can go directly to the Open Solaris site and just search for open storage.
And there's a few white papers that I'd strongly encourage the blogging community to take a look at as well. One is what is open storage, which is going to be interesting. It gets into a fairly interesting deep dive onto that, and I do encourage the blogging community to learn about this. This is going to be a game-changing event for some.
So this is something you definitely think is going to be good material for blogging about what the implications are in the industry and for what some of the underlying technologies are, by the sound of it. And this link between Solaris and storage and making it open is definitely very newsworthy by the sound of it.
Absolutely. I would say this is something.